TSA wait lines were out the door this morning at the San Diego International Airport. I take a look in on conditions now.
The circumstances surrounding the horrific crash at LaGuardia Airport, very similar to something that happened here at San Diego International Airport. We'll have the details.
Your own car versus the trolley and bus. We're working for you, given the cost of gas, to compare the difference in price and time.
Artemis 2 is getting ready to launch, and San Diego will play a role in the mission.
Lessons learned in a school, rippling across the entire world. We honor this month's Classroom Hero.
The partial federal shutdown is creating long lines at TSA checkpoints nationwide, including right here in San Diego. President Trump is now deploying ICE agents to more than a dozen airports across the country to help ease the crunch, though it's unclear how. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
And I'm Anna Laurel. No ICE agents have been seen at San Diego International yet. News 8's Alex Cheney is live from the airport with more on that and how security lines are looking right now. Alex?
Well, I've been here since about 4 o'clock today, and it looks like a pretty average TSA security line so far. Nothing in comparison to what it was like very early on this morning. Several lines, many people telling us taking them over an hour to get through security. Here's more.
What's your name? Can show the badge. Where's the badge?
Video from this morning shows reported ICE agents in plain clothes arresting a woman at San Francisco International Airport. Meanwhile, this was the scene at San Diego International's Terminal 1 this morning. No ICE agents, but the security line went out of the terminal and snaked back around inside. With only 2 TSA lines open, some said they waited more than an hour.
We got fresh air, so it was nice. Over an hour. We already missed our flight.
President Trump said he would deploy ICE agents to help TSA staff after Congress failed to refund the Department of Homeland Security last month. Trump talked about it today.
I want to thank ICE because they stepped in so strongly. They'll do great. And if that's not enough, I'll bring in the National Guard.
Many TSA workers are missing shifts at airports nationwide as they deal with delayed paychecks from the ongoing government shutdown.
TSA workers should be paid for the work that they do. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that we're not paying them and that we're putting funding towards other things, other government entities that we shouldn't be putting our money towards.
CNN is reporting there's a list of 14 different airports ICE agents are at right now. San Diego is not on that list for now. Passengers at the airport this morning had to move their days around to account for the long lines.
I felt like I was going to get here and it was all just going to be really blown out of proportion and I was going to have time to drink coffee, but I think I'm just going to go home and just reschedule my meetings. The San Diego International Airport is telling travelers to arrive early, just like this passenger did.
But I'm a little worried just because I've seen everywhere that it's getting busy, so I'm a little more than 2 hours early for my flight, so I don't miss it.
Now, San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria did put out a statement this afternoon about the potential for ICE agents to be at the airport here. He called that a potential threat to public trust and safety. Reporting live from the San Diego International Airport, I'm Alex Cheney, News 8.
Thanks, Alex. Within the last hour, we have learned that the Senate has confirmed Republican Senator Markwayne Mullin as the new Secretary of Homeland Security. The vote fell largely along party lines. Mullin replaces Kristi Noem, who was ousted amid backlash over the Trump administration's immigration crackdown. His first order of business to end that weeks-long funding standoff that has TSA agents, or TSA officers rather, working without pay and causing growing delays at airports nationwide.
Operations are slowly returning to normal at New York's LaGuardia Airport after a plane crashed into a fire truck on the runway, killing 2 pilots and injuring dozens of others. The plane was coming in at 100 miles an hour on the runway when it collided with the vehicle.
Now, tonight we're learning that crash came in a scenario similar to an incident at San Diego a few years ago. News 8's Steve Price joins us live with details. Steve?
So Carlo and Anna, I had a chance to speak with a pilot today. Not only does he have decades of experience flying, he is also an experienced flight instructor. And he told me about an incident that happened here at San Diego International Airport back in 2023. And he says that should have been a wake-up call to the FAA to send them a message that maybe could have prevented what happened in New York last night. A horrific fatal crash at LaGuardia Airport Sunday that a pilot with over 40 years of experience says never should have happened.
This was, in my opinion, all controller error, rests squarely with the controller and no one else.
Robert Katz says the air traffic controller cleared the Air Canada plane to land on runway 4, then communicated with 5 other planes before having this conversation.
Truck 1 and Company, LaGuardia Tower requesting to cross 4 at Delta. Truck 1 Company, cross 4 at Delta.
Katz says, in his opinion, the controller had lost track of the Air Canada plane's position when he cleared the fire truck to cross the runway. 10 seconds later, this happened.
Stop, Truck 1. Stop. Stop, Truck 1.
Katz says what happened Sunday immediately reminded him of an incident at San Diego International Airport in 2023.
426 Summer Tower 12809 on runway 27 cleared to land.
A business jet cleared to land almost collided with a Southwest plane that was getting ready to take off. But instead of being distracted by a fire truck, the air traffic controller was focused on a third plane having a mechanical issue away from the runway.
Completely zoned out the arriving business jet, which almost struck Southwest on the end of the runway. So it's nearly an identical circumstance what happened in LaGuardia last night.
Katz fears this happens a lot more than we even hear about. In his opinion, the FAA is improperly prioritizing planes in the air, allowing for ground distractions, and he believes San Diego's airport is the worst of the worst because of its design.
We see one runway used for landing and taking off, and lots of intersections where airplanes cross or vehicles can cross.
And to be clear, an investigation into what happened in New York is just now getting started, so we don't know yet for sure that it was an air traffic controller error. Of course, we will continue to follow that. Okay, so you heard Robert say that San Diego International Airport, he believes, is the worst of the worst when it comes to these issues. So what is his solution? Carlo and Anna, he believes this airport needs to be moved way out into the East County, someplace with a lot more space where they could put in more runways and design it better so you don't have all those intersections with baggage carts, with fire trucks, with other vehicles going through so that everybody has more room to work. Plus, he says those planes would not be flying over less homes as well. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
Steve, that idea was discussed a lot before they invested so much into the current airport. San Diego County hiker is dead after he was reported missing on one of the region's most grueling trails. The 40-year-old left for El Cajon Mountain in Lakeside Saturday morning. We are told he reached the summit and called family from there, but he never made it home. Nearly 100 searchers spent 10 hours yesterday combing the trails. A volunteer found his body in brush just a mile from his car. Investigators say he may not have been prepared for Saturday's near triple-digit heat.
There's no obvious signs of traumas. He had some cuts and bruises. Where he was discovered, it looked like he probably passed out and fell into a brush area.
The hiker's name has not been released at this point. The medical examiner is now working to determine the cause of death.
Just days after we told you MTS launched a new tool for you to calculate the cost of your commute, we're putting San Diego's public transportation to the test. Given the high price of gas, parking fees, and traffic, we wanted to see how taking the bus compares to taking your car.
News 8's Jenny Day is working for you. She joins us live with her findings. How'd it go, Jenny?
You know, it went great. Both the trolley and the bus were great today, but we are told that only about 5 to 10% of San Diegans take public transit regularly. Certainly more take it to things like Padres games, but now there is a new tool that allows you to calculate the cost of your commute. Working for you, we put it to the test.
If you go to Old Town, you can take Route 8. It will take you right into Mission Beach.
Time now 12:03, hopping on the green line.
You can calculate it by entering just a few numbers, like the miles you travel, the price of gas, and the number of days that you commute, and it gives you, an estimate of how much you could be saving.
My typical commute to work is 15 miles. Should take about 25 minutes, but often takes closer to an hour. The MTS planner takes me on one trolley and one bus stop, and that's about an hour and 15 minutes. Round trip, though, only $5. Gas Buddy says that commute in a car could cost closer to $6.50 round trip. MTS says something like East Lake to La Jolla could be even closer to $40 a day if you count the cost of parking as well. Public transit potentially saving you more than $1,000 a year.
Because some of our trolleys, they don't deal with that, and some of our buses have dedicated lanes that just bypass the traffic altogether.
All right, La Mesa to Fashion Valley, now a quick 2-minute walk to the bus stop. Make that more of a run, actually, because we saw our line, but the MTS planner on their website or app was really helpful.
It tells you, which route to take, the one that will get you there the fastest.
With 4 main trolley lines and 800 buses, there are about 81 million passenger rides a year all across San Diego County. $2.50 each way, unlimited rides for $72 a month, and it's totally free for those 18 and under. The 8,000 parking spots at all the transit centers are also free to leave your car.
It's keeping the air healthier for our residents and really, improving the quality of life. We really heard from passengers that safety was their top priority, so we made it our top priority.
All right, this is our second and final bus transfer, then we'll be at work. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Take care. All right, the time now is 1:10, and we've made it to work. So yeah, overall 1 hour and 7 minutes to get from La Mesa to Kearney Mesa. Overall, a really good experience. Certainly depends on so many factors, but it could potentially save me about $10 a week. So I felt very safe. It was very well marked. Get some things done while you're on board. Again, just a good experience here today at MTS. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, you made it look fun and easy, Jenny.
You can work while you're on the bus.
I like that part. Remember, if there's something you'd like for us to look into, email us at workingforyou@cbs8.com. Sounds like it took her about the same amount of time that it takes her when there's traffic.
And like I said, you can work quietly.
Do stuff.
Don't have conversations on your phone on the bus. Or
Earbuds.
Just
Earbuds.
Email, text. Federal funding cuts are impacting a San Diego nonprofit as the need for its services are at an all-time high.
We're going to share how you can help still ahead. Plus, we're hearing from state leaders as the U.S. Supreme Court is likely to issue a ruling that would impact how you vote here in California.
And how San Diego is set to play a major role in NASA's upcoming mission to the moon and back.
And temperatures definitely cooler than last week, but we're still breaking records in the East County for daytime highs. I'm meteorologist Sean Stiles with a look at your forecast.